Welcome back to BLOCKTV, and you're watching Blockheads, where we round up the top headlines from the crypto sphere. And oh boy, is the crypto sphere moving. Here are some headlines you gotta know to catch you up. First up, Coindesk, with an extortion gone bad inside Binance's negotiations with its KYC hacker. Bloomberg, with just 318 crypto addresses, control 80% of Tether. Cointelegraph, with crypto tax bill introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives. BTC manager with KiK launches scathing rebuttal at SEC. And lastly, Coindesk, with crypto jackers making secondary income off security data seizures report. Coindesk reported on the Binance debacle that is being dealt with at the moment, in a situation that the report calls an elaborate game of hackers hacking hackers, wherein an individual operating under the pseudonym Bnatov Platon provided Coindesk with extensive information about their attempts to obtain millions of dollars in exchange for declining to release information about customers of one of the largest exchanges in the world. Information about the hack was pushed into the public eye when Platon began posting what he alleged were images and information about real Binance customers. First to an open source website, and then to Telegram when Binance declined to pay 300 Bitcoin in exchange for the information. This all started in May when an outside group broke into Binance user accounts and stole 7,000 Bitcoins. Binance was seemingly public about its problem, describing the event as part of a large-scale security breach in which hackers were able to obtain a large number of user API keys, two-factor authorization codes, and potentially other information, with no mention of identity issues whatsoever. During this event, Platon alleges the information they have obtained about Binance customers was produced, although he says he was not behind that hack, but that he hacked an exchange insider involved in the heist. Platon claimed that he wanted to bring the hackers to justice and even involved Binance's Chief Growth Officer, or CGO, Ted Lin, but nonetheless released the information when the company refused to pay. In the alleged correspondence with Lin that was given to Coindesk, Lin called out Platon for already releasing the information he claimed to have. He said, and I quote, "Given the damage from your FUD campaign is already done, whatever bounty you were asking for the information would be significantly less. As I said, we don't react to extortions, but we are willing to get more information relating to perpetrators if you have useful information that can enable us to put bad guys behind bars and recover funds." Platon claims to have 60,000 pieces of Know Your Customer information and thus far has leaked 636 files. A lot is fishy about this story. All that's left is to see how this goes forward with both Binance and the hacker, as it seems that this is kind of a he said, she said sort of situation. Bloomberg reported that the crypto world is even more concentrated than most observers probably realize. While Bitcoin whales own almost a fifth of the currency, researcher Coinmetrics says that wallet addresses show that only about 300 entities control around 80% of Tether. Tether has had a lot of drama since it was introduced in 2015 as a way to provide liquidity to exchanges because of lingering concerns about illegal uses that have made it difficult for them to secure banking services. New York's Attorney General in April accused the companies behind Tether of engaging in a cover-up to hide losses and commingling client and corporate funds. Some of the founders and biggest exchanges have even been referred to on social media as the Tether Mafia. John Griffin, a finance professor at the University of Texas at Austin, had some conclusions on the matter. He said, quote, "The concentration of Tether suggests that control of Tether is in the hands of a few central players who can swing Bitcoin prices and have a vested interest in doing so. It also suggests that many exchange players have a vested interest in keeping the Tether game going." The fear with these holdings being extremely centralized is that it can bring about major volatility when large swaths of Tether are released in the market. Moving on to Cointelegraph, that reported that a tax bill seeking to allow the exclusion of gain or loss on like-kind exchanges of virtual currency has been introduced in the United States House of Representatives. The bill, called the Virtual Value Tax Fix Act of 2019 was initially introduced by Representative Ted Budd on July 25th and referred to the Committee on Ways and Means. The bill seeks to introduce amendments to the Internal Revenue Code of 1986, which specifically determines, and I quote, "No gain or loss shall be recognized on the exchange of real property held for productive use in a trade or business or for investment if such real property is exchanged solely for real property of a like kind, which is to be held either for productive use in a trade or business or for investment." The bill is seeking so that the exchange of virtual currency for virtual currency of like kind be treated in the same way as the exchange of real property for real property of like kind. So in effect, if the bill became law, it would prevent cryptocurrency from double taxation under the Internal Revenue Code. BTC Manager reported that messaging app KiK has filed a countersuit against the SEC, claiming the agency has deliberately twisted facts to make it seem like KiK had not complied with necessary regulations. The SEC launched an investigation into KiK and came to the conclusion that their token KIN was a security but did not comply with securities regulations. They further alleged company management knew they would not be able to sustain financially after posting $1.5 million in revenue and $32.3 million in expenses in 2016 through to 2017. KiK refuted the SEC's lawsuit with claims that the regulator is purposely misreporting facts and misrepresenting documents and testimony. The SEC alleged that a third-party consultant informed KiK that their token KIN was required to abide by securities regulations. This was supposedly recommended as KiK was selling units of property they created for a specific purpose on their app. The report notes that the case is slowly turning into crucial verification of whether digital tokens will need to comply with securities law. KiK has been aggressive in its counteractions to the SEC, going as far as launching a public fund accepting donations for their fight against the regulators. In their 130-page response, KiK said the SEC continuously cited quotes out of context and failed to include an instance where it emphasized that KIN was a currency. Their aggressive stance represents a company and industry that is fed up with constant regulatory scrutiny and confusion, as is evident as an evident problem that was pointed out often, especially within the wave of recent Senate hearings, to understand just that. Moving on to Coindesk, that reported that in the wake of lower cryptocurrency prices, ghost mining hackers are turning to metadata seizures. In a report, cybersecurity firm Carbon Black says a 2018 Monero crypto mining botnet contained a secondary aspect capable of seizing IP addresses, domain info, usernames, and passwords. Dubbed access mining, Carbon Black researchers Greg Foss and Marianne Lang say the 2018 botnet campaign has been collecting secret data for the past 2 years, making millions in the process. According to reports, at the time, 500,000 machines were hijacked with a Monero mining protocol called XMR Rig, collecting 8,900 Monero, with most infected machines located in Russia, Eastern Europe, and the Asian Pacific. The hackers turned the security data into a secondary source of income, with one infected machine selling for an average of $6.75 on the dark web markets. The 500,000 haul is worth $1.69 million. Infected machines can even be rented for 24 to 48 hours as a source of passive income for hackers. Depending on the machine's location and owner, machine values can skyrocket. Foss and Lang say access mining is more than likely the result in the dropping of Monero prices following the 2018 bear market. Following the report, the firm issued a series of tips for addressing possible concerns. So check that out if you have any fear on the matter. That was Blockheads for today. Now keep watching BLOCKTV.com for more cryptocurrency and blockchain related news.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.